What if the secret to unlocking superhuman memory wasn't hidden in futuristic tech, but rather sitting right there on your kitchen counter? Imagine enhancing your brain's power simply by choosing the right foods. Science has uncovered astonishing evidence. Certain superfoods don't just feed your body, they reshape your mind. What if eating blueberries could actually delay aging in your brain by years? Could a simple spice like turmeric boost your memory enough to prevent Alzheimer's? And is it possible that dark chocolate, the guilty pleasure you love, could sharpen your concentration and help you recall every important detail effortlessly? Stick around, because today we're diving into the incredible science behind 5 powerful superfoods that will dramatically transform how your brain functions. The key to extraordinary memory might already be closer than you ever imagined. Right now, millions of people around the world struggle with forgetfulness, brain fog, and fading memory, wondering if it's just stress, age, or something more alarming. Dementia and Alzheimer's disease rates continue to rise dramatically, placing an unprecedented strain on families, healthcare systems, and society as a whole. In fact, someone in the world develops dementia every 3 seconds, a startling reality that has scientists and researchers racing against time. Yet, amid the gloom of these troubling statistics, modern science shines a hopeful light on an unexpected source of solutions: our daily diets. In recent years, extensive research has unveiled a fascinating connection between what we eat and how well we think, remember, and function mentally. Nutritional neuroscience, a groundbreaking field at the crossroads of food science, biology, and neurology, is rapidly reshaping our understanding of how specific nutrients impact brain health. Today, we know that certain powerful foods, dubbed superfoods by experts, are rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and vital nutrients scientifically proven to boost memory, sharpen cognitive abilities, and even reduce the risk of devastating neurological diseases. But despite these remarkable discoveries, most people still overlook the simple yet profound truth: food can heal or harm our brains. Our diets today, often overloaded with processed sugars, unhealthy fats, and synthetic chemicals, are silently sabotaging cognitive function. In an age where technology accelerates life at a dizzying pace, our brains desperately need support, yet our eating habits continue to deteriorate, leaving our minds vulnerable and compromised. Now imagine a world where memory loss, confusion, and dementia no longer seem inevitable. What if we could significantly improve our mental clarity, memory recall, and overall brain health by simply choosing foods that nurture and protect our minds? This isn't science fiction, it's scientific fact. And these 5 remarkable superfoods, foods available to anyone, might hold the key to transforming how humanity fights cognitive decline, offering a brighter, clearer future for generations to come. The story of using food as medicine is ancient, yet it's only recently that modern science uncovered exactly how deeply our diet can shape our brain's destiny. For thousands of years, cultures around the world intuitively recognized certain foods as powerful healers, capable of improving mood, sharpening the mind, or even warding off disease. Ancient Greek physicians wrote extensively about the link between diet and cognitive health, prescribing walnuts, remarkably resembling the human brain, to enhance memory. Ayurvedic healers in India have used turmeric for centuries, long before it ever became trendy in Western coffee shops, believing it possessed mystical healing properties that strengthened the mind. But for decades, Western science largely ignored these traditional beliefs, dismissing them as folklore or superstition, until alarming statistics began to reshape global consciousness. It wasn't until the late 20th century that researchers, confronted with an unprecedented rise in Alzheimer's disease and dementia, started desperately searching for answers hidden, as it turned out, in centuries-old wisdom. In the early 2000s, groundbreaking studies emerged, confirming what ancient cultures knew instinctively: certain foods held extraordinary power over cognitive health. Blueberries, once just another berry on the shelf, revealed potent antioxidants capable of combating neurodegenerative processes, protecting neurons, and potentially reversing cognitive decline. Similarly, The Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil and omega-3 fatty acids, started showing astonishing benefits, slashing dementia risk dramatically. Yet alongside these exciting discoveries came chilling realizations. Researchers found that our modern diets, dominated by sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats, weren't just bad for our waistlines. They were toxic for our brains, accelerating cognitive decline at alarming rates. The data was undeniable, the danger clear. Humanity was rapidly heading toward a future overwhelmed by dementia, memory loss, and mental deterioration, all exacerbated by our own food choices. Science had unveiled a terrifying truth: our modern diets might literally be stealing our memories and minds away, quietly sabotaging human potential. But thankfully, it also revealed the tools we desperately need: superfoods that hold incredible promise, if only we choose to embrace them. Today, the reality we face is more troubling than ever imagined. Recent studies reveal staggering statistics. Over 55 million people globally currently live with dementia, and by 2050, that number is projected to triple, exceeding 150 million. To put this in perspective, that's equivalent to the entire population of Russia or almost half the population of the United States, lost in confusion, isolation, and irreversible mental decline. Even more frightening, dementia isn't a disease reserved solely for the elderly anymore. Scientists have started reporting alarming cases of cognitive impairment in adults as young as their 30s and 40s, directly linked to lifestyle and dietary choices. What's causing this troubling shift? The evidence overwhelmingly points to our food choices, specifically the proliferation of highly processed foods, saturated fats, sugars, and chemicals, which have silently infiltrated nearly every household pantry. Recent neurological research indicates that diets high in sugar and saturated fats can literally shrink the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning, by up to 20% over time. Imagine losing nearly one-fifth of your brain's memory center simply by eating the wrong foods. On a societal scale, this could lead to unprecedented levels of cognitive disability, skyrocketing healthcare costs, and devastating emotional tolls on families. Yet despite this grim picture, only 1 in 10 people actually eat enough fruits, vegetables, or nutrient-rich superfoods daily to counteract this threat. Many of us unwittingly sabotage our cognitive health with every bite, unknowingly making choices that push us closer to a future we fear. Researchers now urgently warn that the next decade could mark a tipping point. Unless dietary changes are embraced quickly, millions more could find themselves trapped in a life of declining mental clarity, forgotten memories, and emotional isolation. But what if the solution was simpler and closer than we realize? What if integrating just a handful of scientifically proven superfoods into our daily lives could dramatically reverse this terrifying trend, giving us back control of our mental destiny? The answers exist, waiting to be discovered, hidden in plain sight, right on our plates. But here's the shocking twist science recently revealed: your brain can literally regenerate itself, creating new neurons and pathways, regardless of your age. This astonishing fact contradicts decades of belief that once brain cells were damaged or lost, there was no going back. Neuroscientists have confirmed through rigorous studies that the brain possesses a remarkable ability known as neurogenesis, the birth of brand new neurons, particularly within the hippocampus, the brain's memory powerhouse. Yet, this powerful ability can only thrive under specific conditions. Here's where the surprise comes. Diet, more than any medication or futuristic procedure, determines whether your brain regenerates or deteriorates. Foods once dismissed as mere nutritional trends, such as blueberries, walnuts, salmon, turmeric, and even dark chocolate, contain powerful compounds that stimulate this process of neuron regeneration and protect existing cells from decay. Take blueberries, for instance. Studies at Harvard University have demonstrated that regular consumption increases neural connections and actually reverses cognitive decline in elderly participants. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, has been scientifically proven in clinical trials to break apart toxic protein deposits that trigger Alzheimer's, potentially preventing or delaying the onset of severe cognitive impairment. But why hasn't this knowledge become mainstream? Controversially, some experts suggest that pharmaceutical companies actively downplay food-based therapies, pushing pills and costly treatments instead of accessible dietary solutions. Others question if dietary intervention alone can truly reverse the global dementia epidemic. Yet, despite the controversy, the science remains crystal clear. Your brain's future isn't predetermined by age or genetics alone. It depends heavily on what you choose to eat. Imagine, then, the tragedy if millions continue to neglect this empowering truth, unknowingly surrendering their cognitive abilities and memories, never realizing their power to regenerate and protect their most vital organ. The choice, astonishingly, comes down to something as simple, yet profoundly powerful, as what's on your dinner plate. Today, groundbreaking advances in neuroscience and nutrition have converged, revolutionizing our understanding of how specific foods directly influence brain health. Cutting-edge technologies like functional MRI, fMRI, scans now allow researchers to witness, in real time, how certain nutrients activate areas of the brain related to memory, cognition, and emotional stability. At Stanford University, scientists recently demonstrated that omega-3 fatty acids, abundant in foods like salmon, chia seeds, and walnuts, literally increase neural efficiency, enhancing communication between brain cells and boosting memory recall. Meanwhile, researchers at the University of California uncovered astounding evidence that dark chocolate rich in flavonoids not only heightens cognitive function but also visibly improves blood flow to brain regions critical for memory and focus. Equally intriguing is recent research emerging from MIT, which revealed how polyphenol found in blueberries directly stimulate neuron regeneration and growth, providing measurable improvements in learning, memory retention, and even reversing age-related cognitive decline. Advanced genomic technologies are also revealing why some individuals respond more dramatically than others to dietary interventions, opening the possibility of personalized nutritional therapies tailored precisely to individual genetic profiles. Artificial intelligence now analyzes thousands of dietary and cognitive studies simultaneously, rapidly identifying which foods and nutrients offer the strongest protective effects against neurodegenerative diseases. Yet, despite these remarkable technological leaps, researchers are just scratching the surface. New studies now explore previously unknown links between gut bacteria, the microbiome, and brain health, indicating the foods we eat not only feed us but also shape trillions of microscopic organisms inside us, influencing mood, memory, and cognition in profound ways we are just beginning to understand. The implications are staggering. We now possess the scientific tools and technology to potentially eradicate or significantly reduce cognitive decline and dementia globally, but only if this powerful knowledge is widely embraced. The question, however, remains, will society harness these revolutionary discoveries in time or continue down the path of dietary neglect, unknowingly gambling away humanity's most precious resource, our minds? But as exciting as these scientific breakthroughs may seem, they've sparked intense debates and unsettling questions that science alone can't yet fully answer. While studies affirm that superfoods dramatically enhance memory and cognitive function, skeptics and cautious researchers warn us about rushing to oversimplified conclusions. Some nutritionists argue that isolating single miracle foods might distract society from a balanced, holistic approach, creating unrealistic expectations and dangerous dietary obsessions. In fact, controversy erupted when certain powerful antioxidants, once celebrated for their benefits, were later found harmful in excessive amounts. Could a similar risk arise from obsessive reliance on a few superfoods? Additionally, ethical concerns emerge regarding personalized diets based on genetic profiles. Where does privacy end and nutritional surveillance begin? Critics argue that data about our genetic vulnerabilities could easily be misused by corporations or governments, exploiting fears about cognitive decline for profit or control. Meanwhile, some researchers fear a darker possibility. What if these dietary interventions only delay cognitive decline, rather than preventing it entirely? Could we inadvertently extend the burden of dementia, prolonging life but reducing quality, leaving millions trapped in partial awareness, isolated from the world they once knew? There's also concern that these superfoods, once widely popularized, may become scarce or prohibitively expensive, deepening socioeconomic divides. Imagine a world where only the wealthy can afford brain-enhancing nutrients, creating a devastating cognitive gap, societies sharply divided into those with thriving minds and those doomed to mental deterioration. Thus, even as science marches forward, shadows follow closely behind. These powerful discoveries about food and cognition raise profound ethical and social dilemmas we've barely begun to grapple with. Progress always comes at a price, often hidden beneath optimism, lurking quietly until it's too late. The essential question then emerges, as we rush toward this extraordinary nutritional revolution: are we fully prepared to confront its unintended consequences? Or could our eager embrace of superfoods inadvertently set the stage for new forms of inequality, exploitation, or even unforeseen health crises? Ultimately, this revelation about superfoods and their powerful impact on human cognition reaches far beyond individual health. Its practical implications could transform societies, economies, and even the trajectory of human evolution itself. Imagine a world sharply divided not by borders or politics, but by cognitive ability, a future shaped by dietary choices where only those with access to these potent foods flourish, and those without gradually lose ground, becoming vulnerable and forgotten. The critical problem is clear: our global food systems are already strained, burdened by unsustainable agriculture practices, climate change, and economic inequality. If suddenly the survival of our cognitive health hinges on exclusive, nutrient-rich superfoods, millions might never taste their benefits, accelerating an unprecedented wave of cognitive disparity. Picture entire regions lacking access to blueberries, salmon, turmeric, or walnuts, trapped not by choice, but by economic realities or climate disruptions. As privileged populations benefit from enhanced memory, creativity, and mental longevity, others could find themselves facing a catastrophic cognitive divide, creating a new evolutionary gap in humanity. The social implications could be explosive: increased poverty, intensified inequality, and global unrest as communities become aware they're cognitively slipping behind, denied a resource that others enjoy abundantly. The scientific community could become deeply polarized, some advocating rapid adoption of superfoods at any cost, others calling urgently for equitable access, sustainability, and caution. Governments and global organizations might scramble to control or distribute these cognitive-enhancing resources, facing moral dilemmas unprecedented in human history. Yet, amid this turmoil lies a valuable lesson, a stark reminder that solutions, no matter how groundbreaking, must always balance progress with responsibility. Humanity's most pressing challenge won't simply be protecting our memories, but protecting our shared future. Perhaps the true superpower won't come from the foods themselves, but from our ability to recognize the collective responsibility we hold in shaping who benefits and who suffers from these extraordinary discoveries. As we stand at the brink of a cognitive renaissance, we must decide: will this knowledge unite humanity, lifting us collectively, or will it divide us, transforming powerful tools of healing into weapons of inequality and conflict? In the end, the remarkable connection between superfoods and our cognitive health leaves humanity standing at a crossroads, one that demands profound reflection and responsible choices. This isn't merely about selecting foods that enhance our memories or prolong our mental clarity. It's about deciding the kind of future we want to create. We now hold a powerful key, one capable of unlocking unprecedented human potential or driving deep divisions and painful inequalities. Our knowledge, while revolutionary, also brings responsibility, forcing us to question how we wield this newfound power. Will we choose to harness superfoods responsibly, prioritizing widespread accessibility and sustainability, ensuring that all people, regardless of wealth or geography, can benefit from enhanced cognitive health? Or will we allow this breakthrough to exacerbate existing inequalities, creating societies sharply divided between those with thriving minds and those left struggling behind? The decision we face is not only technological but deeply moral. If humanity chooses the path of equity and sustainability, this discovery could represent a true evolutionary step forward, an era where cognitive decline and memory loss become distant relics of the past. But should we neglect these ethical responsibilities, blinded by the allure of personal enhancement or short-term profits, we risk losing something far greater than memory alone. We risk losing our shared humanity. This dilemma reminds us of an enduring truth: progress without compassion is dangerous, and technology without morality can quickly turn from a blessing into a curse. As we move forward, each one of us, scientists, governments, consumers, must ask ourselves, what kind of legacy do we want to leave? Will future generations thank us for wisely embracing a new era of cognitive health? or blame us for carelessly creating deeper societal divides and irreversible environmental damage. The choice is ours, and it must be made now. Because ultimately, it's not just our memories at stake, but the very essence of what it means to be human. So now, go back to that simple image. A blueberry in your hand. A piece of dark chocolate melting on your tongue. A pinch of turmeric dusting your meal. At first glance, they seem ordinary, mundane. But now you know the truth. Within those everyday foods lies the power to reshape your brain, protect your memories, and possibly change the future of humanity. That's not a metaphor. It's science. And maybe, just maybe, it's a quiet warning too. Because if something so small can hold that much power, imagine what's slipping through our fingers every single day. How many lives could be different if they knew this? How many futures could be protected, minds saved, if we stopped looking for complex solutions and started paying attention to what we eat? I don't say this to scare you. I say it because I'm scared too. Scared that we'll keep walking past the solution, because it looks too simple. Scared that by the time we realize how powerful our choices are, it might be too late for our parents, our children, maybe even for ourselves. But there's still time. That's why this story matters. That's why I had to share it with you. Not as a researcher, not as a narrator, as a human, just like you, facing the same future. So now I want to ask you, what are the foods you rely on every day? Could they be helping your brain or quietly harming it? Share your thoughts, your doubts, your experiences in the comments below. Because this isn't just a story about science. It's about all of us. And maybe, just maybe, it starts with what's on your plate tonight.